Cancer. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. Cancer, this is your July 2024 reading. It's a general reading. And in today's reading, we're going to be taking a deep dive into shadow work. And before you click off, I want you to know that I've left you a really good video in my description box below in case, you don't know what shadow work is or you've never heard of it. But it's a really good video on facing your own shadow, and it's taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And shadow work is really just looking at your stuff and taking a deep dive into it and healing it. So we're going to be looking at this month of what's coming up in your shadow for you to heal. And so I'm going to begin with the Tarot of the Abyss. I'm going to ask the Tarot to pull, to give me some five cards. Give me 5 cards here. But we're going to do one at a time. And I'm going to begin with asking for number 1 is what's coming up for your shadow to heal. And then number 2, we're going to get to that. I'm going to look at what is the origin of it? What's the origin of this? So it's going to be a little bit of, it's going to be more specific for me. It's going to give me more details. So let's start off with number 1 here. So what's coming up from Cancer's shadow for them to heal? We have 2 here. So you have the Empress card, and then you have the Ace of Pentacles right behind it in reverse. That's what's coming up from your shadow. And then I want to know the origin of this. So can you give me the origin of this, please? There we go. You have the Ace of Swords. 2 aces here for your shadow. And then in the 3rd position, we're going to look at, so how is this showing up in your daily life? Because what we have to realize that the shadow is what sits in your unconscious. You're not aware of this. But it's having the biggest impact on your life. And when you start asking yourself questions of why is the same person showing up in my life? Why are these same relationships showing up in my life? Why can't I get along with people? Why don't I have any friends? Why don't I have money? All these whys that we ask ourselves, we don't understand, and it's these patterns that show up and they cycle in and out of our life, and we can't understand why we have anxiety or depression, or because this stuff is sitting in our unconscious and we need to heal it. And we can keep pushing it down, but until we start to heal it, it's just going to keep coming up. And so this is Cancer, this is for you. And so how is this showing up in your daily life? These, whatever's needing to heal here. How are you going to see it show up in your life in July? The Star card. Number 4 over here says, how can you start to heal this? So let's get some advice from the tarot here and how Cancer can start to heal this. Just asking for 1 card. Here it is. It's right at the beginning. It's the 5 of Pentacles. And then this 5th position here is actually kind of a hope position here, where it gives you some hope, where it's going to show you what is going to open up in your life when you start to heal this, because oftentimes, or how your life is going to change. And oftentimes we're on this healing journey. We think that, I'm fed up. I'm getting nowhere. I don't know why I'm doing this. I want to quit. I don't want to be in therapy anymore. I don't want to, and it's just... So we're just looking at this specific incident here, that's this issue, pattern, whatever it is that's showing up in your life for you to heal from your shadow. And once you start to heal it, how is your life going to change? All right? And just kind of to give you a bit of encouragement that, yeah, you start to heal this. When things end in your life, other things will start to open up. There's too many cards here, so I don't want all those. So let's go with 1 card, please, for Cancer, and how their life is going to change once they start to heal this from their shadow. There we go. Chariot card. Okay, so let's turn to the Rider-Waite deck. and clarify this. And then at the end, I'll pull a card for you from the Sacred Creator's Oracle. And yeah, and then I'll also recommend some videos for you from my other channel called Carol Cares. And those videos will be specific to what's coming up for your healing. So can I have some more clarification for this Empress card and the Ace of Pentacles here? 1 or 2 cards to clarify these. Maybe it. Oh, I have a couple more here. The Death card. Right before that was the Ace of Swords in reverse. And the 6 of Wands. That is what is coming up from your shadow to heal. And over here we have, can you give me some clarification with the Ace of Swords? Okay. Tower card. And you have the 7 of Swords in reverse. Tower cards in reverse as well. How is this showing up in your daily life? Can you have, we have some clarification for the Star card, please. Nine of Wands in reverse. And I think one more. That one just fell out nicely for me. 5 of Cups. That's how it's showing up in your life. And how can you begin to heal this? This 5 of Pentacles here. Can you give me some clarification? Okay, Moon card, and I'll see if there's one more for this 5 of Pentacles and the Moon card. Yeah, here it is. Queen of Swords in reverse. And finally, how will your life change, Cancer, once you do the work? Chariot card. Some clarification for that. Four of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. And then I'll pull this an oracle card for you at the end. Okay, so I'm going to start off, Cancer, with your yearly reading that I did with you in January of 2024. And in that reading, I pulled 12 cards for you, one for each month. And the card that I pulled for you for July is the Justice card. And that is going to be your overriding energy here. And so the Justice card is a card of getting, balancing something out here, bringing some balance to a situation, but also with the Sword here, it says that, we want to get to the truth of something. There's something here that I feel like you're trying to get to the truth of something, right? So that's going to be your overriding energy. So what's coming up from your shadow to heal right now? Well, the first thing that comes up are these 2 cards, which is the Empress card and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So the Empress card, beautiful, beautiful card. She is the second part of the feminine energy in the major arcana. So she would be like this universal energy force that we all have access to. And she's the Empress. And the Empress represents everything to do with the body. Living from the body, experiencing the body. She feels all of her emotions. And so what I'm seeing here that's coming up from your shadow are a lot of emotions. You have a lot of emotions here that are coming up. A lot of emotions here. And Ace of Pentacles is behind it. And the Ace of Pentacles represents the beautiful, beautiful card of a beginning, or the beginning of getting back into your body, the beginning of learning what the body is. The body can be everything about that represents, the pentacle itself can represent our workspace, our health, our self-worth. So I'm seeing here that, and it's in reverse here. So I'm wondering if when you were younger, because it's in your shadow here, that there were so many emotions here. So maybe you were somebody that was a real sensitive child, somebody that had, just felt a lot. But for some reason, most children, all children are very much in their body. They're very grounded. But there was some real shaking up here where you became ungrounded here because maybe you weren't allowed to feel these emotions, right? And because of this, you also get this ace. You have two aces in reverse here, right behind each other, right beside each other, right beside these emotions. And also feeling our emotions. When we're younger, we, as a child, you want to be able to feel all your emotions. But if we are prevented from feeling all our emotions, so we're not allowed to use our anger, we're not allowed to cry, we're told we're a crybaby, things like that, we're just not allowed to, it really prevents us being who we really are, right? And this whole reading is talking about, let's bring some justice to who we really are. Because you were somebody that had these emotions when you were younger, but was blocked from using them, was because you weren't allowed to be in your body, weren't allowed to be who you really are, and you were blocked, and that blocked your identity because you weren't allowed to use those emotions. And so there was a certain part of you that died. Death is all about things that need to go, usually when it's not part of your shadow, or people that need to go. But this is like a certain part of you died. That part of you that knew who you were, your authentic self, and the part of you that, knew about getting back into your body and grounding and being you. And then it ends off with this Six of Wands card, which is it's a duality card. Sixes are all a duality in my deck. And they represent two things. On one hand, it says there's a real victory here. Victory wreath, two victory wreaths, one on the head, one on top of the wand. And, the wands are about taking your life into this direction that you're meant to go into. But what's on the other side that we don't see? Well, if you pull that green blanket away on this cloak or whatever it is that's on this horse, you're going to see this grief, this hidden grief that's here. You have this hidden grief that's coming up for you as a child because you weren't allowed to feel all your emotions. And there's this grief here now because you weren't allowed to be you, and you weren't allowed to do what you wanted to do. The pentacle here about grounding and being you and feeling good in your body, feeling good to be you, feeling like you mattered. And there's a lot of grief here that's sitting behind it. And so what's the origin of all of this? Let's get a little bit more specific here. We have the Ace of Swords here in reverse. And, here's the Ace of Swords again. And that's the origin. This is the origin of when you were told as a child that you weren't allowed to be you. And the sword is all about our authenticity, who we really are. There was, some incident that happened here. You had the Tower moment that comes behind it. There was something that happened to you when you were younger. And the Tower moment speaks of really these big, big events in our life that shook us up. And maybe you know what it is, maybe you don't. It could have been something, that happened over and over when you were younger. But there's some Tower moment here. Look how it's shaking these people up. Shaking them out of their bodies, of who they really are. And it's sitting behind this Ace of Swords. And so that explains something happened to you when you were younger that really made you question and put away this who you really were. Cancer wasn't allowed to show who they were. And this is what you ran away with. You ran away with, this is called the Thief card. And you ran away with these beliefs about yourself that people told you. Because of whatever happened to you when you're younger, you picked up these swords. Swords has everything to do with our mental energy, our belief systems about ourselves. You pick them up, and this is what you've carried around with you. So the real you of who you are was hidden, and instead of that, it was replaced by what people told you who you are. And so this is the month where we get to explore who you are. It's coming out. It's coming out here. Like, who are you under this green cloak here? This grief that needs to come out here. And so how is this unconscious, this thing that's sitting in your unconscious, this Tower moment, everything I just talked about that's coming up right now for you to deal with in July, how is this spilling out into your life now? Because we like to think, we humans, that when we push things away, when we, sometimes we use our addictions to numb everything out, and whatever we do to try to forget all of this. But if it comes out, it's starting to rise to the surface here, and it's bubbling up and you can feel it. It comes out and it spills out into our daily life. And so into your daily life where, it says there's some healing that needs to take place for sure. And I think you know it. You know that there's something. I'm going to go out on a limb here because of this card that's come out here. I'm going to say that you know what this is. Oftentimes, we know that there's something that's happened to us. We know that it's affected us. And we think that, the knowing is enough. We try to, we have this ego self that tells us the knowing is enough and we don't need to know anymore. Well, we definitely can know something that happened to us when we were younger. Of course we can. But we have to take ourselves through the healing of that. We have to feel the emotions that are connected to that, and that's what we avoid. And so we tell ourselves that, knowing is enough. But it's not. There's some healing here. You have been through some very difficult times. Here's the wands that prove it. This is this individual that has this bandage on his head, and he's here are all these difficult wands that he has to put up all his life because he's been trying to battle this, whatever this is that's happened to him, trying to keep it down, But it's coming up here. It's coming up for you to deal with. There's a real resistance to going and dealing with this. This says that, we've been through some shit when we all of us have had stuff, but we need to heal it now. It's time to heal it. There's a real call here for you to start to heal some of this. And in particular, it's showing up in this card right here, this 5 of Cups. This is this individual that's focused on those 3 cups. Here's the individual that's focusing on all these hurts and these wands, these things that have happened to them when they were younger, and focused in a way that maybe you're finding yourself sitting in a lot of depression, hopelessness, saying, this isn't going to change. I have this hopelessness that's not going to change. Here's the grief that you need to deal with, that you're focusing on. Maybe that stuff has happened to you when you were younger, and you're sitting and you're looking, well, I don't know how to heal this, or I don't want to heal this, or there's a resistance to it. And this is a card of, I see, is real hopelessness. A lot of depression you may be sitting in because of this, feeling like, I don't know how I can change this. I just feel too hopeless. Too much has happened to me. Too much has happened to me. And maybe, it's continued in your adult life because you haven't yet healed what needs to heal. There's some healing that needs to be done, and in particular, healing this hopelessness. This child here of yours, this younger part of you that felt extremely hopeless when they were younger, when this happened to them. And here they are again, it's this stuff is showing up for you to heal. So how can you heal this? Well, the universe says, well, here's the Five of Pentacles. Here's a story about two individuals that need help. And they don't feel worthy enough. They don't feel like they matter enough to walk into that church behind them and get some help. This is the story of you, where maybe you feel like you don't matter, where maybe you feel like you never mattered, where maybe you don't feel worthy enough. Maybe you feel like a piece of shit. This is what needs to heal. This is called the shame card. This is where our unworthiness comes from. When we are younger, shame is given to us. These belief systems about ourselves, this unworthiness and how we don't matter, it's given to us from other people. It's not ours. We're not born with shame. It's given to us. And so you have some real unworthiness, and it comes from that emotion of shame that we're sitting with, that we're holding, that needs to be dealt with. And there's some the Moon card. Here's the Moon card that comes out. This is another major arcana card, and it is getting in touch with these things of ourself that are unknown, getting in touch with it talks about, and the way we do that is to get back into our body and get out of our heads, which is where we really are with the shame. We have these emotions, that we have these belief systems about ourselves. We feel a certain way about ourselves, but the universe wants you to, in order to get in touch with that shame, well, you have to go find out what are these things that you feel about yourself that are hidden. And we find that, we get in touch with that through grounding and getting back into our body, because our emotions, that shitty shame that we feel, it's in our body. It's not in our head. That's what people told us. It's in our body. That's how we heal it. We get back into our body and get in touch with our intuition, our inner knowing of who the hell we really are, buried underneath all of that shame. And the Queen of Swords is here to remind you of something. She's the feminine side to us. She's our feminine energy. Our queens are our feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy. It doesn't matter anything. It has nothing to do with our gender. But she's the one. The queen is the one that loves to get back into her body. She knows who she is. She gets still. She gets back into her body. And she's the Queen of Swords. She represents authenticity and who we are, and getting back to who we are, right? And we can only find that out when we get out of our head that's telling us all this stuff about you're unworthy, you're a piece of shit, you don't deserve this, you don't matter. And then we get into this depression because we tell all that stuff to ourselves, because we believe it, because that's what we were told when we were younger. That's not who we are. And this Queen of Swords knows that's not who you are. And so, when you ground and you get back into your body and you start to feel that shame that your child would have felt when you were younger, that's what's holding you back. How will your life start to change and shift once you deal with this shame and grounding and getting back into your body. Oh, but there's going to be some beautiful movement here. There's going to be some beautiful movement. And this card, the Chariot card, talks about that movement. Number 7 is a Chariot card. 7 talks about self-awareness, becoming more aware. And so the movement that's going to take place here, you have this individual on these, I don't know, geese, driving the chariot guiding it with her mind. Your whole life you've been guiding yourself with your mind. You've been believing all of these thoughts about yourself, these terrible things about yourself that are not true, and you've been using your mind to guide your life. Well, guess what? When you start to get back into your body and feel that shame of yours that was never yours, and literally you got to feel that stuff and sit with it. Sit with it. You're going to see some movement, but it's not going to be physical movement. You're going to start to become aware of, oh my God, this isn't true. This isn't what I believe about myself. This isn't what I believe. It's what someone else believed. And then what else is going to happen? Well, you have the 4 of Wands here. And in an upright position, the 4 is like a stable, square number. It's solid. Wands aren't normally meant. Wands want to be free and create. But you're going to start to feel that, you know what? I'm going to take my life into this new direction. There's something else I'm meant to do. I've been leading my life thinking this about me. Well, I'm going to finally, this is a victory card. You're going to finally leave this walled city, this city that you have been living in, the city of stone and coldness and was not true. It's not you. And you're going to take your life. You're going to walk away from it and say, that's not who I was. Right now, there's, it's blocked. There's a resistance. But once you start opening up this world, you're going to be able to see things really open up for you. And the most beautiful thing is the Queen, another Queen. Like I said, the Queen is the feminine part of us. She's the pentacle. She holds that pentacle. She loves that pentacle. It's her body. It's her health. It's her workspace. It's everything to do with, her relationships. And she's going to start feeling for the first time from your body. Not from your head, from your body. That's going to lead you. But right now, again, she's in reverse here. So she's feeling some anger. Maybe she's feeling depression, that depression you need to deal with here. So I'm going to leave you with 2 sets of videos. One is shame and the other one is depression. And in those 2 videos, you're going to learn how to journal. And there's, there's some grounding videos in there that you can learn also. But I want to leave you with shame and depression here as some 2 playlists that I want you can, feel free to look at those. They're from my other channel called Carol Cares. And then I'm going to leave you with a final oracle card from the Sacred Creators Oracle deck. And you got make a mission statement for your soul. That is powerful. Let's see what you have in number 58. Let go of that big overarching life purpose thing and make a mission statement for your soul, whatever that looks like today. Don't get tricked into spending a lifetime trying to pinpoint the perfect be-all and end-all goal. Simply move toward what makes your heart happy, and you will be perfectly poised for soul purpose success. Sacred tasks aren't always logical or rational, and they are certainly not going to fit squarely into an old school template or life plan. They come from spirit. You will recognize them by how propelled and inspired they make you feel. If you feel any anxiety for not having created your path yet, that's because you already know that you are meant to be doing something greater in the world. And I feel like this 4 Wands that's going to open up for you, this victory card here, that's what's awaiting you to do something greater. Once you start to heal your shame and start to heal maybe this depression that you're probably sitting in because of it, because this isn't who you are. It's not. So take care, Cancer, and I'll talk soon. Bye.